Today.
What's up?
Did you get to see Wemby last night?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm unbelievable. It doesn't even look real out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they get Fox back. Spurs got a good thing going right now, man. It's exciting. It's really
What do you
exciting.
call that dipsy-do thing he kind of threw down over his head?
Whatever he wants to call it. Nobody else can do it. It's whatever he wants to call it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's truly like, you feel like, you say it a lot when you see generational kind of talents and you're like, oh, I've never seen that before. You've never seen it before, and it's really tough to describe.
What's the energy like in the gym?
Well, guys are just ready to go. Guys are ready to play. It's kind of that time of the year where you're in your scrimmage, exhibition kind of mode, and guys are excited to see somebody else, on Saturday here against Incarnate Word. But just ready to tip it off, man, and now play games that count. And after Incarnate Word games to go to your record. And but even Saturday will be great. It'll be great to get out here in front of people, show guys what we've been working on. And it's exciting. It seems like it. Always seems like the off season flies by. It feels like just yesterday I was here talking to you guys about year one, and now we're in year two, trying to get better at some things.
What have you learned about this team? Have you identified any areas that might be strengths this year, or things that you think can stand out?
Well, I think without question, whether I wanted to or not, we got to guard people better, right? And we got to figure out, I think, just what does that look like? I think that there's different ways to skin a cat. You can be a really, really aggressive defensive team that turns people over. You can be a defensive team that protects the rim, and I think we're still kind of working through that, figuring out exactly what that looks like. Offensively, we've looked at, again, I think this month, as we move in early November, now it's time to kind of clean up some things and figure out. Obviously, I've always been a coach that wants to shoot a lot of threes, but we've got to figure out how to manufacture more free throws, get to the rim a little bit more, and I think we've done a good job of that this preseason.
With so many new pieces on the roster, does this feel like year two for you, or is it like year one all over again?
Well, I think you got to get used to having new pieces, in this day and age. I think it feels like year two in the sense that I think we have a little bit better idea of what it'll take to win the league. Every game is going to be so nip and tuck, and I think every league is very different. The American's different than the Mountain West. Mountain West is different than the SEC. SEC is different than the Big Ten. I think across the country, there's just different things that lead to winning. This is a physical league. I think we went and got bigger. We got stronger. I like our depth, but I also like our length and our athleticism more, which I think will help us.
Aside from that kind of knowledge, what are some of the building blocks or things you learn about UTSA specifically that can help you as you move into your second year?
From this past year?
Yeah.
I think it's more about, to be honest with you, I think just when I think about the American Conference, we were in every game last year, legitimately, besides a couple at Tulane, at FAU. Those are the ones that jump out at games we did not play well and kind of got blown out from the beginning. Every other game was a couple possession game. We lost 4 games at home where we had double-digit leads. That doesn't happen, right? So improving those things when we're going to be in those situations again, finishing those out better. I actually thought we did a good job of that at the end of the year, winning 2 out of 3, beating Charlotte, beating Rice here was obviously a great win, and then playing well against Memphis. I think we were playing better basketball at the end of the season. So again, I think it's just understanding what's our identity going to be on both sides of the ball, and just having a better grasp on that as we start our preseason. I shouldn't say preseason, but start our non-conference schedule.
Mo was talking to us about your guys' kind of culture. Do you feel like the pillars that you play around and things like that are more set in year two, or how does that transition?
Well, yeah, certainly better be. At the end of the day, too, I really like this group, like the collective camaraderie and toughness of this group. Not to say we didn't have that last year, but we had some unlucky injuries. We were banged up. We sort of had to move to a smaller kind of lineup that we probably wanted to play. And listen, last year we were right there. We battled in a lot of games. I know it seems like every coach says that. That's certainly not why we're here. We're not here to battle. We're here to win. And so now, when you take into account, I think the culture we have of toughness, passion. And we do need to improve on certain areas of discipline defensively, making things tougher for other teams. And if we do that, we'll be right back in a position to be successful. And now we're a little bit more experienced as coaches and as a head coach for myself on helping our guys get across the finish line.
Stylistically, do you think it'll look the same as last year, or are there some things you want to do differently?
I think we do like shooting threes, but at the same time, last year was sort of out of necessity. We were unable to get in the paint and create 2-point opportunities, get to the free throw line. I'd like to see us do that more. I think pace is a little bit we'll go as fast as the other team lets us, but if we're not getting stops, we're not going to worry about getting up and down. We got to get stops. To me, it starts on that side of the ball, and that sort of allows us to dictate how fast we play on the other end. So everything for us this year needs to start on that defensive side, and then we can play off that.
Coach, did you get a little more clarity on roles and things like that in the wake of the scrimmage last weekend?
A little bit, and now we're not banged up. We're not banged up. Now's not, to be honest with you, a bad time to be banged up. You're heading in kind of the beginning of the year, and guys are starting to become 100%. Scrimmage was good for us. Did some really good things. Did some not good things. So, again, I think from a role clarity standpoint, I think it's more about we have a deep team. I want that to be a strength of this team. Our depth, our ability to go 9, 10, 11 if we have to. And so, quite frankly, I mean, at the end of the day, I think most importantly is having guys that are ready to compete and ready to get in, regardless of whose number is called, and then over the course of time, I'm sure once you get in the conference play, you're not going to go quite that deep. But I think more importantly, we need everybody ready to come in and go. I think we've got a lot of guys that can do different things. We did touch on a lot of kind of role definition and clarity, at the end of practice last week. So hopefully we see some more of that today when we're out playing 5-on-5.
Austin, what counts as a good season for you this year? What do you need to see to know you're making signs of progress?
It's a good question. I mean, listen, obviously we're here to win. We have 3 goals every single year: win the regular season title, win the conference title, win the tournament title, and go undefeated at home. And certainly, it's not a failure if you don't accomplish one of those things. But we need to see, first of all, our team. I mean, like I said, we lost 10 games or 4 games last year. We had 10-point leads at home. That can't happen. I thought we had great crowds last year. I mean, there were certainly some games better than others, whatever the case may be. But I thought our crowd showed up, and we had home games where the atmosphere was great. We came out and got leads, and I didn't do a good enough job of helping our team finish those games. So I want to see us play better at home. I want to see us go on the road and have poise in tougher situations, and again, we want to be in a spot in February where we're competing to win the championship, or this year top 2 seed gets whatever it is, buys all the way to the semifinals. So it's hard to quantify that, but for me it starts with non-conference. We got to come out here and get a good start to the non-conference. We play, I know everyone's talking about our Power 4 games we play, but we play some really good mids when you talk about playing at Texas State. SIU, we went to the NCAA tournament last year. South Alabama won their league last year. Seattle's a really good team. And so we've got a really tough schedule that's going to prepare us for January and February, but our intention is to come out here and win a lot of these games. And so, come back and ask me that question, I guess, after the non-conference. But I certainly expect, us to be winning a lot of games and be right there competing for championships. That's the expectation.
Coach, we talked.
I'm okay.
Very good. All right.
Prez got it.
We talked to Jameer about it. He comes from a basketball family. His dad was a great player. His cousin played here in the Final Four. As he told us, he played for Beeline in that Final Four team here. And just what does it look like for him, making that transition from he was at Southern Utah last year, stepping up a little bit in strength of conference and whatnot.
Well, I think,
what does he look like? What do you think is going to be his?
I think the most impressive thing about Jameer is just his poise, his leadership, his work ethic. It's no secret to why he's had so much success as a player and why he's also helped teams win at a lot of places he's been. Because of how coachable he is, how hard he goes every single day. I've tried to empower him to be more of a voice because he's usually always saying the right thing. He's got a quieter demeanor about him, which is not a bad thing, but certainly we want to empower him. He's a leader for this program, and even though he's only got 1 year left, he's somebody that's going to be crucial in this turn this year. And he plays the right way. He can really score it. He gets fouled a lot. He drives it. He's shooting it well. He's going to play a major role this year.
I've noticed him a little bit and just kind of the way he moves. He's a left-hander. Is he a little harder to guard because he's a lefty?
You have to ask these guys that. I do think he kind of has a herky-jerky game. He can kind of stop and go, and again, he creates fouls because of his kind of stop-and-go movement. And he's a bigger guard. I think if you look at all of our guards, we try to get more length in those guard positions to allow us to be versatile defensively, switch more, and hopefully rebound better as well.
What do you think about your 3 freshmen and how have they done so far? I guess Dorian.
You're saying Mateo. Does Mateo even count as a freshman? I don't even know how that works. But okay. Well, he's a good freshman then. Jeez. Yeah, we got. I think we have 3 really good freshmen. Dorian and Caden, of course, were here all summer. Dorian was, and both of them played really well in the scrimmage. They'll both see a ton of minutes early
Dorian
on.
And
Caden played well in the scrimmage.
Okay.
And then Mateo as well. Mateo got here a little later, so it'll take him a little bit longer to get in the groove we want him to get in. And part of that's my job. All of it's my job. We got to put him in the right spots, whether that's going to be more the 4, small ball 5. I got to figure out the best way to make him successful, but he's got incredible skill, plays really hard. He's a good athlete, so he's gonna have a big year too. So all 3 of them as freshmen are gonna contribute.
Dorian's like a 2.
He's a combo. I mean, he's a 2, but we've
He's played some point.
Yeah, no, he can bring it. He can initiate offense. He's got really high basketball IQ, and he's unselfish. So, we'll look at a few different things with him.
Caden, 3, more or less?
Yeah, 4-3. I think long term you're looking at him as like a 3 when you talk about being a professional and just he really has guard skills. Right now he's got to continue to improve his shooting. Until he gets that up, you're probably looking at him more in the front court as like a 4 and a cutter and a slasher. But he really impacts the game defensively. Deflections, block shots, steals, can guard 1 through 5 really. So again, you got to have guys like that, to win conference games.
Coach, with Vashon, I know he's picked to be an all-conference guy in the preseason. Is he fully healthy and going through things with you?
Getting there. He's still not full. He was banged up, and then now he's been sick. Luckily, we're getting him off that. Like he'll be good to go Saturday, and today will be good for him. Kind of first day back off the mend a little bit, so get his conditioning back up. But obviously, we know what he's capable of doing as a point guard and as a quarterback for your offense. Really, really good passer, strong, can finish at the rim. And I thought the last week of practice really started shooting it like I know he can shoot it. I was shooting it at a really high clip his freshman year. Last year that dropped a little bit percentage-wise. I see that going back up closer to where he was when he was at Old Dominion. Just reps, confidence, and I think our system will allow him to get good ones.
Where's Austin Nunez from a health perspective?
He was good, and then kind of banged up the other day. He'll obviously my goal for him is November 5th. So we'll see about Saturday. But another guy that was playing great and excited, of course, about what he's going to do in front of his hometown. So. Austin has been playing really, really well, but we just got to make sure we get him there ready to play when the popcorn's popping.
All right, Austin. Appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Thanks
Good to
a
see you
bunch.
guys, man.
Yeah.